I love when Globers debunk the globe. You know, on July 8th, when 99% of the world's population is in sunlight and it's impossible on the globe. Check this out.
They have a little opening chat before Dave moves on to what he's calling the impossible day. Let's get into it.
So let's get into the 70% of the Earth. So this is a graphic from the Weather Channel. You can't light a ball up like this. The line should be halfway. It shouldn't light up more. That's game over right there. We're not a globe.
Of course, what Dave is failing to realise here is that on this image he's showing, they are just leaning the globe towards the audience to show how much of it is lit. You can't see the Terminator line on the other side, so you can't claim how much of it is lit up.
How can you say they're only showing one side when literally both sides? It's flipped. I know because he got it from this animation from the Weather Channel, and it clearly shows way more than 70% of the entire globe has to be lit in order for this to happen.
By the way, I'm not sure where you're getting this 70% thing from. The graphic on the screen clearly says 99%, which is of course the global population on that day in daylight and twilight, not surface area of the globe.
Well, where we get 75% is because it is physically impossible to light the globe 50% and get 99% of the world's population in that sunlight. Google's AI says it would be approximately 86% of the globe covered in light in order to get 99% of the population. And ChatGPT, what do you say?
On July 8th, because most people live in the Northern Hemisphere, the majority of the world's population is in daylight. For that to happen, all continents except Australia need to be in sunlight at the same time, which means that about 70% of the Earth's surface is illuminated. This alignment ensures that nearly everyone is in daylight at once.
Well, there you have it. Well, Google and ChatGPT can't really agree on the percentage exactly, but they both agree that it's more than 50%.
No, it's not. Only 50%, or very slightly over due to refraction, will ever be lit up. Never 70%. Like you say, that's not possible on a ball. And again, it's not 99% of the world. It's 99% of the population, as it clearly says on screen.
Okay, Simon Dan, I'm glad you said that. Now remember you said that because I'm going to hold you to it. Oh, and real quick, just in case you miss it, here it is demonstrated on the Flat Earth model. There's all the sunlight where it needs to be.
Now let's look at it on a globe. So here we have a globe set up at its 66.6 degree tilt. We have a sun on the other side of the garage. Now here, that pink is Australia. We're going to put Australia right in the dark, just like it is, and then we're going to run around to the other side, and we're going to take a look. And Houston, we have a problem. All of South America is in the dark.
Now, at first glance, this looks awful for the globe, but if you have a look at their setup, you can see why it's wrong. They have the tilt of Earth as if it's the summer solstice, June the 21st. But the date on their map they just looked at was August the 13th. I'll mock it up with my globe in the correct position so you can see how it works.
Oh, okay, so we might be wrong. All right, Simon Dan, educate us. Show us on the globe how it works.
Right, so you can see here that I have the globe set up off centre. So this here would be the summer solstice, but I've got it now set up here, so this is sort of August time. You can see clearly that the US coastline is just in the dusk there, as per the diagram. And if you come round here, we can see that China is in sunlight and dusk. So it absolutely is possible to do on a globe.
As I said, completely plausible on a globe.
Simon Dan, you have on screen half of China and Russia in the dark. Here's your Terminator line, and look at all of this land in the dark. How do you show your people this with honesty and integrity? They're looking at this. And you're calling this a debunk video? Not to mention that you have Eastern China completely in the dark, which is 94% of their entire population lives in that region that was in the dark. This is why I believe this battle is 100% spiritual, because here he tries to demonstrate why we are wrong, and he shows exactly why this is impossible and how it cannot happen.
No, I want you to demonstrate your claim. The moment you say, well, we can't test it unless we remove gravity, you've just admitted that your belief is untestable and therefore unscientific by definition. That's called special pleading, making an exception for your model so that it doesn't have to meet the same standard of empirical verification as every other physical claim. If gravity can't be tested in isolation, can't be isolated from variables, and requires blind faith in a magical containment force that conveniently can't be falsified, congrats. You've just described a religion, not a science. Love you.
This is a worldwide operation from the dams in Turkey, China, and of course Egypt that we've just covered. All of these dams, if you put them together, were all built in the 1900s to destroy sites that are too big to burn, too significant to ignore. Where the local Santal communities, as Beglar noted, they used these temples for centuries, and they knew all about their sacredness. Yet their voices were silenced, and the dam displaced all of them, totally erasing their history. Where the dam submerged 34,000 acres, the Santals, the indigenous tribal group in the region, were all displaced, forcing all of them to relocate. These would have been the people to ask about what this is and what happened here, and they didn't give them an adequate rehabilitation. I wonder why. Joseph David Beglar, he documented the Santals had a deep connection to the site, using it for communal and spiritual gatherings. I would love to know what this group knew. And it is no wonder that they weren't given proper rehabilitation after being forced to leave. We also see that their cultural practices were silenced when the site was submerged after 1959. There is now no record of their traditions continuing in the way that they used to. The temples, the DVC, all backed by the governments of India, West Bengal, and the Jharkhand. They wanted Telkupi gone and off limits to the public. They don't want us to know anything about this place, but we're not going to let that happen. We expose the truth. Share this episode. Dive into the coordinates we found and see for yourself the half-submerged temple that they couldn't fully hide. What else is down there in the surrounding area? I believe that there's still tools, tablets, or markers that are waiting to blow our minds. The dams weren't for progress. They were weapons to destroy our past. And Telkupi is the smoking gun that proves it. And guess what? We are just getting started.
Grover said that's because of buoyancy. No gravity, no buoyancy. No, it's because of the material, how it's made, it's matter, it's mass, that's its density. Check this out. Now, watch this. Let's put water in there. The water is going up. See there? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some vegetable oil. Now you see that the vegetable oil now is passing all that going up. So you would say it's due to gravity. No, it's not due to gravity, because the vegetable oil is less dense than the other liquids in there, than the dishwash, than the vegetable oil, than the water itself as well. So you see that the oil now is going up. You just have to move this up a little bit because of water finds this level, water seeks this level. Okay, see, it's going through this pipe, going all the way there to the bottom, from the bottom up. Okay, this is density. This is not gravity. Some people say like, why down? But now we see that it's going up. If you say like, why up? Globe is gonna say, oh, because of gravity. No, because of density. It's just density there. Let me put it up so that the process should be faster. There it is. Right. The water is more dense than the vegetable oil over there. Right. The same way in our atmosphere, okay, we have oxygen at the surface of the earth, and then we have the other gases as we go above, as we go higher. Globals claim that the air gets thinner when you go higher. What's getting thinner is the oxygen. It's not the other gases. You still have other gases when you go higher, okay, because those gases are less dense than oxygen itself. Okay. We live in an enclosed system.
This is a video in San Francisco in 1906, 119 years ago. Electric cars. Where's all the electrical wires? There's no electrical wires because all of these buildings were built to harness energy from the atmosphere, from the ether, the same technology that Tesla rediscovered. Electrical car right here. You see, nothing is new under the sun. This is how the Tartarian Empire was ran. Wireless electricity, electrical cars. It's all right in front of you. They've erased our real history because they don't want you to know about our true origins. They want you to think that we're the most advanced civilization. And it's not true. It is not true. They want you paying all of your bills. They want to keep you in debt. And they want to keep you a slave to the system. No electrical wires. Electric power vehicles. This is how the world used to be. This is what they don't tell you. Peace and love.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the man who just landed on the moon. Guys, so I watched the Apollo 11 post-moon landing press conference, and I noticed a few things. I also have some evidence of some multiple light sources on the surface of the moon photos, but we'll get to that. So these guys here just got back from doing this.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
But this is what so many people believe they're actually seeing. And I'm not sure why they're supposed to be on the moon, but the moon is in the background, but whatever. This reporter asks Neil if he could see any stars. Neil more or less replies with, "I don't recall."
I don't recall.
Buzz has this reaction, and then Michael Collins ends up answering as well.
I don't remember seeing any.
And you can see after he says it, they all kind of look a little nervous, like he misspoke. So what the reporter was asking was if they could actually see any stars from the moon's surface, which was odd that Michael answered because he was in fact not on the moon's surface, he was in the command module orbiting the moon. So it almost seemed as which he was helping Neil answer a question that they had been previously coached how to respond to. Because if they did say they saw stars, they would be asked to supply photo evidence of that, of which they had none. But if you need more evidence, this is a transcript that NASA provided of that press conference. If you remember, Michael Collins is the one who said, "I don't remember seeing anything." But look who they say says it. Not Michael Collins, but Buzz Aldrin. Now you could say this is just a common error. Or you could say that NASA is trying to cover for an astronaut who misspoke, so they had to make it come from the person who was actually on the moon instead. Oh yeah, and there were also teleprompters built into the desk, so take from that what you will. So here's the moon shadow photos that I promised. Now this here is the lens axis, which is the center point of the camera. And here's the photographer, who should be centered in the photo as well, but is very much not. And if you count this as the light from the sun, here's another 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 sun, sun here, and more multiple suns down there.